Good morning, Rabbi Sai. We're starting Perek Eilu Trefus. In Chulin, there's a Perek. Every set that has the Perek, which is the Perek. So, in Chulin, there's a few Perakim, but this Perek is the Perek of the Trefus going into the kishkis of the animal. People sit on this for months, and a koil will take up and learn each one. What does it mean? Now, here in this first Mishnah, we're going to see only three things that we're not so familiar with, which I'll ask the oil to tell me out with the art school. Okay. Tell me the translation to the English words of the language that I'm not so familiar with. But we're gonna see. So let's go through it. And I think it's by the way, there are many videos. There's a video of Belsky, I'll send it out, where they had Belsky give a whole shear, an hour and 70 minutes, showing what it is. And there probably a beer as well. There was last cycle, and in the Aguda they had someone who's that's what he does. He goes to people doing Chulin, and he brings the pieces of the animal and he shows each one we're talking about. So let's go into this. Yeah. Eilu Trefus Babemo. Here there are Trefus. What are the Trefus of an animal? Says the Mishnah. We're going to learn now. Here the number is very important, as we'll see in this daf. There's 18 Trefus. Rashi says it is halacha Moshe Sinai. Doesn't make any, not because it made sense, because we went scientifically and checked how animal operates. The Torah told us, Shmuel told us what it is, and this is where we go. What are the 18 Trefus? Nikuvas haveshik. The veshet, as we know, is the esophagus, is the food pipe, and the food pipe is, if you have, we saw that already mentioned it before, if you have even the smallest hole in the veshet, the animal's trachea. Upsukas hagageres. The gageres is the trachea, the windpipe, the breathing pipe. So there you have to have, it's not enough to have a hole, you have to have a psuka, which means the roiv has to be a majority of the width of the gageres to be a trachea. Nikav krum shalmoyach. Krum shalmoyach is the brain. What's the membrane called?
Membrane of the brain.
Membrane of the brain. If there's a hole in that. Or as Rashi puts that nikav, nikav means even the smallest hole. Nikav halev lebeis chaloloi. The heart had a hole going into the inside of the hole of the lave. So he says over here, why does it tell everyone is lebeis chaloloi? But it means over here by the heart is a very thick layer of skin above it, so it has to penetrate inside. Nishbura shedra of a nifsek achut shelo. The spine broke, and the string that holds the spine together, that tore, and as I was going to say, that's the main part. That's the main issue. Nita lakovet, the liver was taken out, but nothing is left. This we know even by Adam. If a person is missing part of his liver, he can still survive. If you have no liver, that's when you have an issue. That's when you have to have some, but not by animal as well. You have a lung who has either a small hole or it's missing. And the Gemara is going to ask, what are you missing? That's they have a hole. It's not enough to have a hole in the lung. It has to get into the basic furnace, which is called
bronchi.
The bronchi, meaning that there's pipes that are in the lung. It has to go into that. Nikva kevo, the cut into the stomach. Nikva hamora, the mora is the gallbladder. Nikva dakim, help me out with the art school. How do you translate dakim?
The intestines.
Which are the pipes that come from the stomach. Hakeres apnimis, keres is the stomach. So how do they differentiate between keva and keres? How do they say keva? What's the keva?
The keva, I'm sorry.
There's a line above.
Gallbladder.
No, that's the
kavu.
That's the moro.
The kavu adakin.
No, the one before, go before.
Keva.
Nikva hakeva.
Oh, nikva keva. The abamasm. The abomasum.
We all know what that means, so that's why there's no need to explain more. But the point is, there's two parts. There's the keva. The what?
The abomasum was the third stomach.
True stomach, and then you have the keres, which is the outer stomach. Maybe go call it that way. So the keres is that. So the keres and aprimi shenikvo shenikru or. So as Rashi explained, the keres between the stomach, it has two layers. You have an inner layer and an outer layer. So if there is a hole in the inner one, or the majority of the outer one was tore off, so then it's a tray. Meaning the type of the animal. If it's a big animal, one tefach makes a treif. I don't care how much if it's right. It's a small animal, then right. Now here again, let's go back to help me with article. Hameses, how do you translate that?
Meses is the almost. It's also one of the stomachs.
Yeah, and basic koisos, so translate that.
I'm sorry. There you go.
So
Particular.
but it's different parts of the stomach. So Rashi explain what we need to know is that you have the when the food goes into the animal, this is the only part that really we don't really connect unless we'll see some presentation.
Yeah.
But really you have the Michael goes in
has the four
stages.
Basically,
four stages. So Rashi explains the Michael Nichnas mi basic koisus. It goes to the basic koisus. Let's see here. The basic koisus is the reticulum, the second stomach, and then it goes in to the meses, which is the omasach, which is the third stomach, and for that meses it goes to the cavo, which is the fourth stomach, and that cavo ladakim, which is the intestines. So you have 4 stages. So it goes from the probably the carrot is the first one. So you go basically goes to different stages where the food is processed in the animal, and these are the stages we're talking about. Each one of them, if you have a neck of a pot. Okay. Now, mesu basikoises, these 2 last stomachs, third and the fourth, they're connected to each other. So mele, the din is nikful chutz if they're open to the outside, because they're open to each other. If you have a hole in between, it's not a problem. Problem is when you go out to the outside, open to the hole, then it's an issue. Okay, we'll get back to all this in the paragraph. Naflo minagan. Continues Rashi. She fell. It's usually Rashi here says the idea that's halacha mishvisina. If the animal fell from the roof, benishbu called soisel, or if this Rashi says she fell from the roof, she looks fine. What do you want? She has the custom. That's what we do. Nishbu soisel. If even without falling, if her ribs broke, most of the ribs, the juice is azev. Juice means there is a wolf who bit her. The biting of the wolf gives some kind of a reaction to the animal that causes it to be a treif. Now it's only not only the bite itself, it has like a little venom that goes in. For a small animal, it's a zeh. There's a big animal, it needs to be a lion. Choose the nates, which is how do you translate nates in English? And in Portugal?
Nates is called by a nates, doesn't say.
Is it a type of bird? It's a big bird.
A small type of bird, such as a dove.
No, that's
Small fowl.
That's the nates.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called by a nate.
So the nates is a bird. If it bit oifadak, it's a gas. It's a big bird. Oifagas. Exactly. Anything that doesn't live is a treif. So this mission holds that all the treifas that we mentioned in this list makes the animal not able to live. Meaning it's gonna cause attention to that.
The sparrow.
What?
Sparrow.
The Tagamot says the sparrow.
That's
Hawk,
that.
a hawk
Hawk.
sparrow.
Okay.
The names.
So come during the Zoom. So so we have over here. So that if you have any one of these, it causes the animal not to live. Then there's now the Gemara goes straight to this. Not focusing on the first half on the treifas itself, focusing on the living on the list. How do we know there's such a thing called the treif? We know it's not much with Sinai. But what do we have a remez? Where's the Torah hint to that? Minai, it says the bossor besod the treifel lo yitzchel. It says don't eat treifel. Clearly. And the remez the treifel shein echayom min Torah minai. How do you know that treifel doesn't live? You have one of the treifels, the animal won't live. Tani says that cloud called shein kamoya chayo treifel. As we saw at the end of the Mishnah, he doesn't live is a treifel. Echad the treifel ain't echayom. I mean the treifel doesn't live.
Oh, but this is a Matthias?
Yes.
So we need a Makar in the Torah for Matthias.
Yeah, it's interesting because we have to know exactly. We'll see because it's a machlekes over here. We know alone. Says these are the chayes. The chay means an animal, but he's saying over here living. These are the living animals that you should eat. Don't eat the animals that don't live. Not sure there are animals that are not living. What do you mean the animals that don't living? The treif. The treif chay. Says the more we're going to reference it later in this parak. Kayo, I don't know if it's this parak actually, but yeah, it's still a parak. How do we know if you learn that Trefa can live? It's like if Trefa lives in Alice. So if you learn that Trefa is able to live, how do you know that? Where do we know that Trefa lives? This living creature eat. There are living creatures should not eat. So the first one there are living creatures that are not living. There are other creatures. Says no. There are living creatures. There are some creatures that are not living. Because there are some living creatures that are living and still you can't eat. Right. So we have your machlekes the trefa liver. Now this comes in to be very interesting. First one holds trefa is a sick animal is going to die. That's why you can't eat. Second one holds it can live for many years, but you still can't eat it because it's sick. It's nothing to do with the fact that it's going to die. Says Zois, this is the animal. There's no other animal like it. What are you coming to exclude? Right? Here's the animal you should eat. What showed every mean to Moshe Rabbeinu. Eat this, don't eat this. He showed him this is what you should eat. Says the Gemara, you need for that. So right? How does he know the Shiva lives? Now, Nafkale Idoch, Tanat Rabbi Shmuel, and Lucio another Rabbi Shmuel, Tanat Rabbi Shmuel, Ben Achaya Necheles, Ubechaya Shel Loisof. You have the Chaya, the living one that you eat, and you have the Chaya that you don't leave. Elu Shunai Trefish and Emru Moshe Besim. These are the 18 Trefish that Moshe Rabbeinu got of Sinai. It's the living animals you can't eat. That's your living. Before we go on, just to say here, there's a little bit of what it says. Moshe Rabbeinu, the animals that are kosher to eat, and the ones that are tamid not to eat. Why had to show him? Why didn't you just give him a list? No, say this animal can, this animal can. The Toys asked over here this question. If Moshe Rabbeinu did not know, so there is a list of things Moshe Rabbeinu did not know. If you want to show, it's not on that list. So the Maharal and others as well say the idea. People did not show Moshe Rabbeinu the animals that can eat and not eat the simonim. Not showing that. You're showing you why you can eat them, why you can't eat them. What's the inner meaning of each animal, and why this inner animal is a Torah animal. This one is not. The simonim is only a simon. It shows you the animal's Torah. What is the actual reason this animal is like this, that animal like this? This is what the Kishbol will show the inner meaning of each one of them. The Ben Yehoyada goes on to explain, because when we eat and give a bracha, we're elevating the animal to a higher level. Now, so Adam Marisha did not have to eat. We didn't eat the animals because he gives shemus to all the animals. Giving shemus elevates us. He did enough.
Right.
So by us, there's some animals that we're able to bring to that level, some animals we can't. And that's what we got the formula, which one is which one is not. So we said there's 18 treifas. So one second. Why are you mentioning only 18? We mentioned in the Mishnah a list of 18.
Okay.
We should really count it when we read the Mishnah, but let's leave it like that. We have 18 in the list of the Mishnah. So you have 18. And after we said over here in the price, there's 18. So well, that's it. So two leko. Basgor v'sheshmaitzo. Basgor is a Rishatevis of 4 treifers, which we're going to say in one moment. Shem Shmaitza is, what does it mean? Shem Shmaitza means the 7 shmurs, meaning you have 11 more, 4 plus 7. Here, there's a sefer. The Ktsois HaChosh wrote a sefer called Shem Shmaitza, which is 7 shmurs that he gave different whole lumdus in each 7 different inyan. Right? This is where the Lashon comes from. You have Basgar, Sheshmaitza. Basgar is 4 things. Sheshmaitza, you say there's only 18, there's 11 more. Let's go through it. Doesn't want to have been base. I'm with base. Visual time to know the Tanatano with the Shire. Our Mishnah mentioned 18, but then it says in the end of the Mishnah, Zakla, this is the rule. So coming to add more. So I have another, and not necessarily is only 18, it could be more. Hello, Letano, do Rabbi Shmuel, Dama Yutchet Tevis too late. According to Rabbi Shmuel, it says Elu 18 is only 18, but too late. You have others. What are the others? So first of all, let's see what is the Rashi Tevis Basgar. Remember the letters. Basgar. What's the first letter? Basgar. Base. So Vayiko Beheimo Shechtechu Egleh Min Arkuvo V'Lamala. An animal, her legs are cut off above the arkuvo. How do you translate arkuvo in art school language?
Hind legs, back legs.
No, but arkuvo. What does arkuvo mean? The word arkuvo, the joint, above the joint, treif. So then, because treif, you need something to mean. Maybe someone share with him, right? Oh, you also don't have it. Okay.
In the middle of
Downloading.
new volume.
Okay. So he says it's gonna be treifo. Says the Gemara, it can burn, but you can seal the wound and it can live. So you're saying, oh, we're missing that in the list. There's because that is not on the list. So avagav, because Charlotte's can be is it treifo means is it also achila? According to Rabbi Lazar, you can heal. According to Rabbi Shimon, sorry. It can heal, so therefore it's not true if it's not on the list. Says the Gemara, 1 second. One second. The Gemara says, you just said, who cares it can heal? And I mean, it can live. He owns all treifas live. So what? You say it can still live. But that doesn't help me. So like a Shimon holds it's not treif. Shame. It's not. He argues on this treif. Says the Gemara, those are you missing a piece of the spine. Now, you have to miss two. I know the words. Vertebrae. We still have only one. So you have that's remember Basgar. So here is Chaseiro. Here you're using the Samach as the second letter. Chaseiro, missing the Shedro. That's the Samach of Basgar. So more Hameses Ubeis HaKoisos, the Kakashavto Betarte. We mentioned Hameses Ubeis HaKoisos, which is the stomach number 3 and stomach number 4. And considered to be 2. We said mentioned in the list as 2 different things. Chashur Bechad is really it's so connected to each other. It's attached to each other, so it's really one. So you move one out of the list. So I asked you a question on the Samech, on the Chesaron, saying really in your list of 18 in the Mishnah, it's only 17, so that's the 18th. So go Vayika Gludo. What's a Gludo? Gludo is that it was skinned off, missing her skin. So it was something like I married the Machsham. I married hold it's not a treif. Vayika again, that's the Basgar, that's the Gimel, Gludo. Vayiko Charusa. Charusa means that it was it's ribbled. It's the spot, the lung shrunk. And here you're using again the second layer. Basgaru. So Basgach will be not so gishmak. Basgar is Charusa. Says the Gemara, okay, we're going according to Rabbi Yudo, and according to him, Moro will not be one of the list. It's not Shreifa. So Moro have Charusa. So we asked the 4 of Basgar. So basically 2 of them we said we hold it's not Shreifa. And the other 2 we put into the list. We one of the list we said it's including something else. The other one we removed from the list, so we're still with 18. So what about the 7 Shmuas? What are the 7 Shmuas? Very quickly, we'll see right away. So this has to do with what is out of the article trans, so Buka de Atmo. What? The ball of the thigh. It's where the thigh connects to the body. Right, where it connects to the body. So that Buka de Atmo. The Shab Midukte, if you move from its place, that place of the tray of the thigh, it's a what? Dislocated, it's strafe. That's 1. 2. If one kidney is missing, is lokso, it got sick, treif. Number 2. But now number 3. Nital atchoil kshero, you take out the spleen, it's kosher. It's only was taken out. Nik of treif is worse if it's there, it has a hole than not being there at all. So that's another shmur. Number 4, if you have the simonim, the veshet and the konim moving,
and then he removes it, it's gonna
it'd be better because it's as if you have a wrong thing there, it ruins the system. And now if you have the associated the berubon, meaning it was moved or diminished, it was moved in Rashi says it's moved in 3 places. It's straightforward. Another one is if you took a rib out of its place, treif. Which means the gulgolis is the skull, and if it has many hits in it, it got many holes in it, so it's a treifa. The meat that covers most of the stomach that most of it got removed. And all these cases, straightforward. So you have 7 other cases we didn't mention. So Gemara says you're right. Nikuvo, in the list of our Mishnah, we have 8 cases. Kuvo, Hamno Hava. There's 8 cases of Neked. Neked means all. Why? Because it says over there the Kruz Veshet. You have Nika Kruz Shamoyach, Nika Valev, Nika Vareo, Akevo, Amoro, Hadakim, and Keres Aprimis. So you have 8 different cases of if you have a hole. So the Gemara Chashvinu Kechad. That's all one. Meaning here, holes is the problem. Where? Use the list of the holes, not 7 different trafers. So Afik Shev Vayil Shev. Take out these 7 extra and put the 7 of these ones. Says the Gemara Yachib Psuke Nami Triav. There's 2 psuke. Psuke means it was cut off. So we have over there psukas agageres, meaning they cut off most of the majority of the windpipe. And where's the other psuka? I think it's like a chutshula, right? You're talking the shadra? Yeah, the chut shadra. So they both have, so you have 2. So once you're saying that whatever is the same type of issue goes in one list, so these 2 should be 1. So if so, if psuki nami tre'avu, chashvinu bechad, you count it as 1, but tzuluchad, you're missing 1. So what it says, now I'm missing 1, instead of having, so you say you have 18, I just put into 7 and took out 7, but now I have another 2 that are 1. So, the one of the cases we mentioned is also nekuva, because it says the nikav atchoil when you talk about the spleen. But once you say that all the nekavim are on the same list, so that's also on the list. So we're again missing 1. So now we're missing 2. Says the Gemara. Remember, we took out 2. One we said is included, and one we said we don't hold it straight. One was the gallbladder and the 2 stomachs. They'll put it back in. And melee, you're back into we're good. In other words, you have 18. All the nikuva is 1, so you move 7, you put the 7 in the list. Really, it's only 6. You put 6 in the list. All the psuke are 1, that's 2, we put it together. So you're missing 2. The 2 is that one of the 4 bazgar, 2 of the bazgar, you put in there, so you have the entire list. So this, we end this daf, Agdama to the period of parak. We have 18 trafers, a list of 18, but really we have much more because it depends how much you count into it. Really, it came out that we discussed over here 29, because we had 18 plus 11. 2 of them maybe not everybody agrees with, but that was the trafers we mentioned in this first daf. Boy said this is the beginning of the trafers. Everybody should have a wonderful Gavaldik day.